Yes, Ambassador Moynihan calling, Mr. Carroll.
Fine, thank
Just
you.
a moment.
Yo. Oh, Mr. Carroll.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Good morning.
Good morning.
Moynihan.
Right. I will be doing a piece on the Zionism resolution and the subsequent flap and fury. And there are a couple of areas that we thought we ought to ask you to comment on because they will be covered to some extent in the piece. And the first is, this may be a rather touchy question, but there is a fair amount of talk around the UN that your speech, the San Francisco speech, put off so many Africans that it might have contributed very well to the loss of the vote on the deferral because they took such personal umbrage. Now, would you have a comment on that?
Sure, I certainly do. Now, how are we talking? I'm not going to comment for the record. I'm going to give you the facts, all right?
Okay.
I mean, the facts, I don't know if facts mean anything to Newsweek anymore. It's getting to be a very funny magazine, if I may say.
We tried.
You try, and you don't succeed as well as when Oz and Kermit were running it. I'm going to tell it to Kozner. But here are the facts, okay? So the first fact is that any time you stand up to people across the street, the first thing they do is say, you have offended us and lost us. The first thing they do is sort of, in effect, threaten. There's almost a pattern in which they say something outrageous will be done by these blocks. You come in and you say, that's outrageous. And then say, you have infuriated us, and we are now out of control, and we are going to do something outrageous because of you. But then you say, but wait, you already did something outrageous. But the sequence gets fuzzy, you see. And it's a standard behavior, and I find everybody in the Department of State just automatically seems to think it's true. That's point one.
Everybody in the...
I mean, the Department of State, just thinks this way. I mean, even, the OAU destroyed the career of Nathaniel Davis. They wouldn't have him.
Right.
But even he thinks that way. Poor man. The guy those bastards said, we won't even accept you, you monster. And even that couldn't get him angry. He said, well, that's the first point. The second point is, and I mean, it's a perfectly good tactic. It's an aggressor tactic. You say, I am a very dangerous person and can be aroused to fury. And people who want peace can get it by just submitting. I mean, it's not an unusual tactic, is what I'm trying to tell you, in diplomacy.
Right.
It's just that none of the Western nations have done it for a long time. The last Westerner to do it was Hitler. And he did it. He'd say, I can go into uncontrollable rage. Right. And you better be kind, better be very, very gentle with me. So And the second tactic is that, second thing is that when people think of the OAU, they think of President Senghor writing poems, huh?
Yeah.
They don't think of Libya. Who the hell pays for the OAU? Huh? Yeah. It's Libya and Algeria and Egypt and,
Yeah.
A third of the members are Muslim.
Right.
And the third point to make to you is that when before we had said anything, this issue first came up where? Do you know anything about this issue?
The Zionism.
Yeah. Where did it surface? Where did it first appear?
Well, it surfaced in the committee.
Now, for Christ's sake, these things don't happen like that. This is we were dealing with dialecticians. It appeared in Mexico City. First statement.
What, during the Women's Conference?
Yes,
right.
yes. Yeah. First resolution. How many votes did you have against it?
Right.
Huh? How many?
I have no idea.
I'll tell you. 2. Who were they?
Well, the U.S.
And?
Well, let me guess. Bolivia.
No, Israel.
Well, of course.
They were, okay?
Right.
We had 2 votes, right?
Yeah.
We got up to 55 last Wednesday.
Correct.
Right.
No, everyone's pointing out that there's great progress in that sense.
Yeah, no. And then at the OAU meeting in Kampala,
Yeah.
I mean, the resolution, the sort of third preambular resolution is the OAU, right?
Right.
And what does it say?
I don't have that in front of me, Ambassador.
Well, you should have it if you're going to write about this thing. The OAU and Kampala, in June, the... I'm sorry, I'm sounding like a professor, but I am sometimes. I mean, this is such a monstrous... the way we keel over it. Say, the reason Hitler did it was that Chamberlain was rude. You know? If it only Chamberlain had treated him well, it wouldn't have happened. First you get it in Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
We have two votes. Then the Mexico City comes up first. Then it goes to OAU at Kampala, where they say the imperial racist regimes of South Africa has the same imperialist colonial origin and the same basis of same basis and illegality as the imperialist racist regime in occupied Palestine.
Right.
That's the first formal connection. Then you go, that's July. Then you go to August, you go to Lima, and where it is adopted unanimously, see? Everyone. Then it comes to third committee, and we are able to get, on the motion to defer, 43 votes, right?
Right.
But who introduces the motion to defer?
The Africans.
Sierra Leone. Huh?
Right.
And who seconds it?
Zambia?
Zambia. Yeah, right? Huh? So those who...
Now I'm with you.
You beginning to notice it? Huh?
Yeah.
All right. Then we come finally to the vote last... I'm getting groggy. Was it Tuesday or Monday?
The vote has got to be Monday.
Monday, yeah.
10th.
Now let me give you the figures, and if you want to, if you're going to write this thing, you might as well come over and get them. But I'll give them to you on the phone, all right? But I've got to figure. We're talking about sub-Saharan Africa,
Yeah.
and we are talking now. I'm obviously fooling around with the figures a bit, but I mean I'll tell you how I'm fooling around them. I'm taking out the sub-Saharan Africans, which have a majority or dominant Muslim population.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on the
Right.
grounds that no Muslim state is going to vote against this.
All right, you're excluding the Muslim dominated countries.
I'm excluding Gambia and Malia and Mauritania and Niger, Nigeria, Somalia, Senegal, Sudan, Upper Volta.
Right, that's a lot.
Well, they all, I mean, that's a lot. There's a lot of Muslim countries in sub-Saharan Africa. And actually, Mauritania, is that sub-Saharan? I don't know. It is Sahara. Mali, Upper Volta, those are really desert countries. But anyway, we're excluding the sort of black or sort of black. I don't know. Mauritania is not really black. African states.
Yeah.
On the grounds of that. Now, on the actual vote, where we of course lost the strongest, excluding that, there was, and then I'm saying that there were countries who voted with us, and then countries which in fact, there were 3 countries that abstained and 3 countries which were absent, and they were in truth pretty friendly. I mean, that was a friendly act, just to get away.
Right.
I mean, you could abstain for somebody, you can abstain against him. It was not friendly when Mexico abstained. It was friendly when Cameroon abstained, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
On that basis, there were 16 African countries which did not vote for the anti-Zionism resolution, and only 14 who did. Now, let me go to the real vote, which is the motion to defer.
Yeah, correct.
And using that standard, there were 18 that voted for and only 12 against. I mean, in terms, there were 18 that voted with us and only 12 voted against us. Now, of those 12, in that whole batch,
Yep.
if you take out the 4 Portuguese colonies that have come in and are just automatic communist votes, which I think you should do because nobody's going to get those votes.
Yeah.
It is 17 to 9.
Right.
Now, is that the record of having lost their votes for good and all?
Well,
Do you realize that it is probably 10 years since we've had that many African votes on an issue of importance to us? like this.
Right. Okay.
Well, I'm just
As I
saying,
say,
is that
we
the
wanted
record
to
of...
give you, well, your opportunity to respond to what I must admit is fairly, fairly general talk among certain delegates,
Yeah, I mean, that's the talk, but what is the vote?
Okay. No, I think you make your case very cogently.
Don't you see the pattern? They are saying, never oppose us. But when you do oppose them,
How much... Well, tell
you
me
know where we lost this damn issue, don't you? I mean, to the extent we ever could win it, I don't think... When you get a solid... When the Muslim League and the Communists solidly line up against
Yeah,
us,
right.
you don't have a majority.
Well, I suppose we lost it in Latin America?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Well, perhaps you can comment on this. How much leeway is there, anyway, for swinging votes on a personal level at the United Nations? In other words, are there a lot of uninstructed delegations on a vote of this sort?
A few. Jamaica was in a position to vote for us, but decided that for some reason it didn't like the Belgian speech and voted against us. I mean, just every so often delegations have to say vote this way or that way. They abstained,
Right.
They said vote with us or abstain according to how you feel. And it depends a little bit. It depends on, and of course votes get bought. They get bought very brutally.
Right. How do one understand the Brazil vote? Is that
Well, that's a very complex matter, my dear friend, and I wish you would explain it to me because it's an important event.
Right. Is it strictly economics, or?
It's a combination, I think, of their feeling they need Arab money, they need oil, they've had to go through, they've let private investment in oil now. And that's the real event, And I suggest it had nothing to do with my speech in San Francisco.
Brazil? Of course not.
And the Japanese vote is not very reassuring. They voted with us to defer.
Yeah.
But on the abstention, it's not very reassuring.
Right.
And Mexico. I don't think Mexico had anything to do with the vote, my speech. I mean, don't you see what is being said over there? That we did this obscene thing because, we were outraged.
Yeah. Right.
And that's just not so. They were going to do it. It was going to be unanimous, excepting we raised enough hell to get it up to about as high as you're ever going to get. I guess that may be our high water mark because the Comoros came in yesterday. So,
Right. Now, this here, again, a touchy area, but did you take any flack out of the State Department? This is all off the record, as you said.
No, I did not.
Right. We did notice, of course, that Mr. Kissinger put a little distance between himself on that.
But, I mean, that's because he's been told this. I mean, no one has told him what the vote was, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, and no one ever will. I mean, I will. I'm not going to bother. But, I mean, the facts are that when you fight, you do better than when you don't fight. That's all. Those are the facts.
Right.
I mean, do you know that well, I've said that twice. I mean, that's my view. You know it.
Right.
You can quote me as saying it is the normal practice over here. I spoke after the vote.
Correct. I know that. Yeah.
And I said because it is the practice of here of people of blocks of countries to get together. And they do something outrageous, and then when anybody resists, declare themselves outraged and determined to do something outrageous in consequence of the resistance, when in fact they've already done it. And this is the normal pattern of aggressors who terrorize people who are less willing to have crises than they are. It's just very normal. I mean, doesn't anybody know anything about diplomacy? Who's willing to have a crisis and who isn't?
Right. Now, you said you were going to give us something for quotation. Now, was that
that was for quotation.
Okay, good. Fine.
I mean, you could say the aggressor always wins a situation where he's willing to have a crisis and the other people are not. You're damn right I made a crisis. I mean, did I make a crisis out of this? You're goddamn right I did. And the alternative was to lose quietly, or to lose quietly and completely, or somewhat noisily, to arouse people up to what was happening. We lost anyway.
Okay, is this now also on the record?
Yes.
Okay, good. Fine.
I mean, do you know the Soviet Union has already said that Zionism is a form of Nazism?
Well,
You know they've already done that?
I read in your speech that you made that.
Yeah, but did you know that in my speech, the day after my speech, they had said this, it's out of Moscow?
I did not know that.
Yeah, they had done. And Jews in the Soviet Union are now free to be treated like Nazis. You know what that means? You know that Libya at the FAO meeting yesterday in Rome demanded the ouster of Israel as a racist state. Has no room, no place in the FAO, and also the United States. You saw the amnesty speech.
Yes, I did.
Well, I mean, you know, I think I have some sense of which phase is coming. I didn't go to City College for nothing. I can think, and it's like a dialectical, trained man thinks.
Right. Okay, and off the record again, is it our understanding that everything is on friendly level between you and the Secretary of State? And personally,
well, people who don't know either of you, you may quote me, that people who don't know either of us may suppose there is not. But he and I are very old, very close friends, and continue to be.
Okay, and that is on the record.
Yep.
Okay. Very good. But politically, you are also more or less in tune on how to handle the UN.
Well, I mean, it's best that we can. I mean, I don't know how anybody knows. You couldn't do much worse than we've been doing the last 5-10 years, can you?
Quite so.
We're trying to do it somewhat differently. I thought the Wall Street Journal was generous and accurate this morning. I'm sure Newsweek will never publish that. I don't know what you people are. I mean, I'm really surprised. I think you're all embarrassed to be Jews over there.
What?
Not Carol, I mean, but maybe it's that phenomenon in New York, which just disgusts me. The fact is that a vicious thing has happened, and my God, the unwillingness to face it.
Well, I don't think we're going to defend the vote.
No, but you won't defend the vote. What you will say was it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't something that the people who protested it did.
Okay, right.
That's what you would do. That'll be the pattern. I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to say it wouldn't have happened. The aggressors wouldn't have been aggressors if they hadn't been.
No, we may very well put forth that point of view as it has been expressed by people, and then let you have your reaction to it.
Well, I await with interest the outcome. Okay. If you want any of these numbers, just come over here. We'll give them to you. The names of the countries.
Okay.
But you took down what I said to you.
Yeah, I have done it.
And if you want to check it out, Jay Katzen is our African officer, and
okay.
give you these numbers happily.
Right. Listen, thank you very much.
Sure, Mr. Gal.
Right.